Hi everybody, it's me, Carrie, with MemoryInkers.com, here to show you a fun, old-style gift holder. Remember back in the day when we used to be so excited when an aunt or uncle or parent or whoever gave us cash money? I know that right now everybody's giving gift cards, and gift cards are awesome. Of course you can give those, but how boring. These are awesome. Cash can be spent anywhere. Your receiver can get it, a little ice cream cone, have enough maybe to buy a little toy, depending on how much, of course, you stuff in that little envelope. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make this fun card and how to make the matching envelope. So let's get started. Obviously, you need the Blended Seasons stamp set and the Stitch Season framelit set. This is the special that's for August only, and it's for a limited supply. So when the supplies run out, they're gone. So if you have not yet purchased this bundle, do it now. You can go to my website, MemoryInkers.com. There's a link there to make the purchase. There will also be all of the directions for this card and the envelope on my blog on Saturday, I believe it's the 18th. Oh, shoot. Okay, it is Saturday the 18th. Sorry, I wasn't sure about my dates. That's so funny. So anyway, that's what will be on here. So I just want to make sure you see all the pieces. There's one die missing that I'm going to use, so it's a little bit smaller. I'll show it to you in just a little bit. Also available right now are the Watercolor Pencils Assortment 2-pack, which has 10 new colors that are not available in the current line. These might be available later, but we don't know when. So you might want to pick these up also. In case you're wondering on the prices, the 10 pencils are $12.50. The framelits alone are $33. The stamp set alone in clear is $39. In wood is $53. But if you get the bundle of the stamp sets and the framelits, in wood it's $77.25. In clear it's $64.75. So just so you know, that is all available. And the information is on my blog at MemoryInkers.com. So we're going to start with a piece of cardstock. This time I am using Old Olive, and it is 6 3/4 by 8 3/4. And then I will use my Simply Scored tool to score it at 3 1/4. I'm sorry, score it, yep, at 3 1/4 by 6 1/2. And then what I'm going to do is I want to cut it out so that I have, whoops, this little cutout here so that your money can show, or your gift or Groupon or whatever it is you're going to give them. So the way that this is going to work is it will not fit through your Big Shot like this unless you have that one that's a little bit larger. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'll show you how to get it through your Big Shot in just a minute. The first thing I'm going to do is kind of eyeball where it's going to go on when it's cut. And then I'm going to put some washi tape on it. So I'm actually going to go this way because there's a, I don't know if you're aware, but there's a centering up at the top of this. So I can go here and see that if I divide it right there, here is the center. So I can kind of eyeball it then. And then I'm just going to use, obviously it's not straight, I know it moved. So I'm going to just grab some washi tape. And this will adhere it to my card. And of course, you know, washi tape is low tack, so it will come off. Now, like I said, this is not going to fit through your Big Shot on your regular Big Shot plates. So, if you were with Stampin' Up! Back when we had the long, skinny plates, do you remember these? If not, these are available. You can purchase them somewhere. You will need that, the two little clear plates, and a very thick shim for our current Big Shot. So you're going to kind of sandwich it all like that. But what you want to do when you sandwich it is you're going to place it onto your spot, and I'm going to do it so that the fold is right there, because there will be some folding and you may get a little bit of curving in your design, but once it lays flat, it'll be fine. And I'm going to tape this down to the plates as well, just to kind of try and keep them from moving too much, because it's a lot for your Big Shot. Then I'm going to put it in the Big Shot with this underneath and this on top. So this is going to be my sandwich. Now the problem is that I will still have all of this sticking out. So I'm going to just very carefully roll it so that it just has a slight curve. And if you're careful when you put it through the machine, you won't crunch it up. So let me give that a shot and I'll be right back. Okay, so now you can see that I have had it cut out, and it does have a little bit of a curve in it, but once you fold it and score it, it's going to be okay. But before we get that all done, I want to put on some tear and tape, because this is a pocket, and depending on how much cash you're going to stuff in there, you want it to be strong enough to hold it all. So also, if you rub your tear and tape, you can usually get the little transfer sheet off earlier, unless you're doing a video. I always seem to have more trouble when I'm doing videos. It's kind of funny and not funny all at the same time. See what I mean? Crazy. Then you're just going to fold that up, score, fold that over, score. Now, then what I did was I've already adhered my Designer Series paper to a piece of Mellow Moss, and the Designer Series paper is cut at 2.75 by 6 1/4, and the matting in Mossy Meadow is cut at 3 inches by 6 1/2. So that's how I got that, and I'm just going to add some adhesive. And I'm going to just eyeball that. Oops, wait, oh, don't put that down yet. Okay, the other thing I did was I wanted some ribbon to match. Now, we don't have any of the awesome shimmer ribbon in Mossy Meadow, but what I found was if I took the Pear Pizzazz, let me show you what it looks like when it starts. If I took the Pear Pizzazz ribbon, which comes close to matching the Old Olive, but it doesn't match it right, and then took the dark Old Olive marker and just brushed it. If you saw my Tip Time Tuesday, you saw that I did this. That's how I got the red here out of the what is this called? Powder pink ribbon. So this was the same ribbon, but I did it with the real red marker, and it maintained its shimmer. I don't know if that's showing up on the video, but anyway, that's how it became that dark, and it's darker than Old Olive, but it's perfect for Mossy Meadow. So then all I'm going to do, and now I have sticky on there, so I have to kind of eyeball this now up in the air. Normally I would lay this down, but I forgot and I put my snail on there. So I'm just going to run this through the center. No bow this time, because this is for a guy, and I think guys can do without bows. And then I'm going to set this down. Then my video actually ran out. Okay, there's the truth. I had to take stuff apart. I cut the smallest one. Remember I said that there was a die that wasn't in the package right here. So there's 3 of these. I'll show you in my big mess here. There's 3 of the label dies. And hopefully you've seen my video before where it shows you that when it cuts out the labels, it not only cuts out the label with a stitch, but it cuts out where you've stitched inside. This is like a border. This is just one piece with a hole in the center. So if that makes sense. If you look on my blog, you'll see I did a photo of it. Anyway, so because I knew I was going to color these with the blends markers, I made sure to stamp the black image in the memento. If you're going to use watercolored pencils, like I did for this one, you're going to want to use the StazOn ink. Because otherwise the one or the other will smear with the product that you use. So I'm going to show you real quick what I actually showed you once before my camera messed up. So in order to get the holly berries, I like to start with the dark, and I'm going to start with the pointier edge, and I'm just going to kind of outline. Not going to get too crazy. I always like to put a little near the bottom. And you can spend a lot of time doing this. These are quite addictive, actually. If you keep playing with them, oh my gosh, you could, I can spend all day. And then I'm just going to, with little swirly motions, except for when I get to where I got to get the corners. And I'm just going to blend that out. And you, when it dries, you'll see that you get a little bit darker. I did the same thing with the little berries. I did them in the dark red, and then I colored them with the light real red. Now these little mistletoe thingies, I don't know what to call them, those mistletoe berries, I used, this is an old paintbrush that was like a disposable paintbrush, and I said some schmutz on it, and I just cut it at a slant. I'm going to dip it in. These are our new awesome paints that are in the holiday catalog, and I just dabbed it on. I'm not doing a very good job because I frankly can't see that well when it's there for me, but let me show you the finished project, and you can see how I stamped the Merry Christmas in real red, colored the berries, and then I'm hoping y'all can see the shimmer paint on there. And then I put Stampin' Dimensionals on, and for this one I'm just going to set it right in the center. Or eyeball it so I think it's the center. May not be perfect. Okay, so that is how you do that card. Now let me show you how to do the envelope. So for the envelope for the original card, I used the same Designer Series paper. And you can see I did cut this edge. I only did it because you'll see I'm not going to do it on this next one because I already showed you how to cut the fancy little edge if you want it. But there's a reason why I had to do it. And then because this is too difficult to write on, I just punched out another little of the labels. This little bow, this adorable little bow, is actually also in there, right there. It makes that beautiful outline. The For You, that came out of the Graceful Garden stamp set. So that's how I made that, but I'm just going to show you how to make the envelope real quick. So I know that this card is 3¼ inches by 6 3/4 inches. So if you've never used the envelope punch board, I am going to show you how to find that. So there really isn't a 3¼ that's going to fit for me, so I'm going to have to go to 3½, and it only goes, I don't know if you can see that, 3½ by 6½ to 3 3/4 by 7. That's going to be, or 3½ by 7. That's going to be the size that I want. It makes it 1/4 inch bigger in both directions. So it's telling me right here what size paper to cut, 8 5/8, and that my score line is 3, which will be the 3-inch mark right up here. So I've already cut my cardstock, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to line it up to the 3-inch score line right there. Oh, comes with its own scoring tool also. So I'm going to set that there. Then what you do is you take your bone folder and you press it up against this edge right here, right there. So, and just take your time. You'll feel it. Sometimes I have to put my finger in there to feel it, but you'll feel it. And this is not going to score all the way down the paper. It's not long enough. So what I like to do, because I need that score line, is I like to quickly fold that, even though it's not the direction I want. Now I'm going to slide that back in because I forgot I want to punch. And this is going to become important later. So now that I have this score line, I'm going to turn it all the way over, and I'm not going to go to the 3-inch. I'm going to take this score line and I'm going to line it up with this doohickey. It even says right there, score guide. So I'm going to make sure it lines up with that. Okay. Punch. Score. This time I don't have to do it because it was short. It was a shorter side. I just want to make sure I've got it where I want it. Again, this is the long one, so I'm folding just so I can find my score line. And one last. Now, it's not going to matter on this card because I'm going to have to cut it off, but just so you guys know, on this side, you can round the corner. Now, because I know this card is for a guy, I do not want this to be the front. I want this to be the front of the envelope, and this can be the inside. It's totally up to you, and then you just start to fold. Now, here's where you can see why I cut mine down. This is too long. So, the easiest way to do it is to take it and pull it back on itself. Find that spot, and then take it over to your trimmer. Sorry, I'm doing this off camera. And then trim it off, and look at how nice that looks. And then you'll want to do the same thing with the other side. You're going to want to find, I don't think the corner rounder will be enough for that, but I'm going to check. Let's see if it is. I think it might not be quite enough. No, it doesn't cut it off enough. So you're going to want to trim this off too. So then you're going to just use your tear and tape again to create the envelope, and then your card will slide inside. Okay? Of course you can do it this way too. I mean, there's no reason why the guy can't have the pretty poinsettias, you know, if you want to. So either way works, but that is how you get the card and the matching envelope. So I hope that you liked this video and you learned some fun things. Remember, cash is king. You might want to go ahead and give them a cash gift. Guy or girl or guy, doesn't really matter. Mom, dad, sister, brother, child, nephew, niece, you name it. Everybody likes to get cash. So I hope you'll give this a try. Again, to go to MemoryINKers.com, you will find the directions written out for you. So have a fabulous day. Bye.